So welcome everybody. We're really excited to get started. This is our, I think it's our 8th showcase of the year with different variations. And we have a really wonderful event today. We have some really exciting panelists from corporations, from VCs and other investment funds, and also from government sector. And we have 17 fantastic startups. So first and foremost, we're excited to learn from the panelists and as they share their wisdom and they challenge the startups with their questions as they look for business synergies, and also for the deep tech startups to hear about your innovations and hear about your businesses. So without further ado, let's get started. Just a little background about us in the showcase. We're a business development consultancy for deep tech startups, but also for the ecosystem of deep tech. And our singular mission is to help new solutions and new deep technologies outside of the life sciences to make it to market. And we do so together with our ecosystem partners of investors, corporations, and government stakeholders. Our focus is on deep tech deliberately so because we're excited about the technology that is being unraveled, which is helping us solve different challenges that we face societally, governmentally, corporations, and also just technology that gets us excited to come to work each day. And so we've developed an ecosystem, which is a business community for deep tech. Which includes, on the one hand, startups, and on the other hand, stakeholders. For the startups, Asher, I see that you have the wrong slide deck, but just see if you can make sure you have the updated one, but we'll keep on going from it. For startups, it includes, what we do for the startups is business strategy for the deep tech startup. It also includes content and helping with content and design. In other words, to get these startups to the place where they're ready to be facing a government stakeholder or a tech scout from a major corporation, or to answer the tough questions that are going to be asked by investors, and also pitching at the showcase events themselves. Asher, maybe let me share the slides on my screen. Can everybody see the slides on my screen? Good. What we do this under a number of different labels. We have Showcase, we have Kissing Frog Studios, we have Deep Tech Capital, we have Deep Tech Strategy, where each label helps in a different startups in a different way. Showcase helps with running the community, the ecosystem of deep tech stakeholders, as well as the innovators themselves. Kissing Frog Studios helps with the design and the content creation for refining your pitch, but also we have Deep Tech Strategy, which assists companies with understanding where they're at for market, and Capital, which helps them connect to investors. So what we're doing here under these different labels is we're helping these deep tech startups, which are tech strong, but not necessarily business strong, or that are business strong, but haven't yet identified a secondary or tertiary market to do so. Stakeholders we define by those individuals that through capital or through contracting mechanisms have the ability to help deep tech startups and make it to market. And that includes from public sector, federal, state, and city representatives, stakeholders from government, from major corporations, the tech scouts, which are looking for maybe for either a merger and acquisition opportunity, a CVC type investment or strategic investment, but also for partnerships, subcontractors on prime government contracts, or co-development of product, or to be a client. And of course, there are investors that are looking for companies that not only is the technology worthwhile to get excited about, but because the technology is applicable across a wide variety of markets, the ability for these companies to make a business impact is large. For stakeholders, what we're doing is we're helping them discover some of the greatest startups that are out there, and it's the exciting technology which could help, for instance, in the case of government or corporations, to help them solve pain points which these governments or these corporations are facing. We help the companies also to come to speed, so that that at the end of the day, the business metrics can match up. We also help corporations and government with tech scouting, which goes beyond the ecosystem, for companies that are based out of the US, Europe, and of course Israel. 3 axi, or axis of opportunity. By the way, who knew that the plural of axis is axises or axi? For the deep tech startup are the following. It's venture capital, which we are all very familiar with. It's corporate partnerships, which the different types of channel partners that we can have with it for corporate organizations. And it's government business through 2 different primary mechanisms. One is through non-dilutive R&D means, and the other is from contracts and pilot contracts. And for the deep tech startup, these are the 3 critical gateways or gatekeepers which enable these startups to make it to market and become successful. The showcase is there because you would think it'd be pretty simple. On the one hand, you have innovation. On the other hand, you have the stakeholder. It should be easy to pair the 2, but that's not the case because there's a lot of noise out there. And that noise blocks the gate. It doesn't allow the really, truly innovative startups to necessarily get through the gate. And that's true because as the innovators are very strong in the business, maybe the UX isn't the greatest UX, and maybe you lose them with a flat pitch. But at the end of the day, that's the technology is changing the world and changing your organization. And so therefore, we find it to be extremely important to work with these types of startups because they deserve the platform. And of course, it takes a village to make sure that these startups make it to market. We work with companies on a 9-month membership, which includes, of course, all the different elements and the different labels that we mentioned before, where we're really trying to create synergies between the startups, the investors, the corporations, and the government stakeholders which participate in the network. Of course, we also run events. And a monthly event, as we're on the August 19th event, the Autonomous Systems, we have some really exciting events coming up as well. So stay tuned to the end of the year. And then 2022, we're going to be rolling out our lineup. So today we're just going to talk about, or in this moment, we're just going to talk about the panelists for the open topic, because that's what's up next. Just so you know the lineup, we're going to have 3 sessions, starting with an open topic, which is not necessarily connected to the autonomy theme. And we have some really great panelists here, including Colonel Stephen Potter, Chad Stelzig, Avi Lindenbaum, Dana Jensen, Kenny Vasai, Bob Christopher, Desri Grogan, Tina Tasagawang, Rajesh Ramanujam, Han Ko, Joshua Davis Court, and Whitney McNamara. The companies pitching in the open topic are Evoke Nano, Boxlock, 8i, Newboro, Argenteel, Silicon Core Technology, and Precursor SPC. We're going to be, after the open topic, we're going to be moving on to our autonomous vehicles and drones panels. I'm not going to introduce the panelists at this stage. We'll introduce them in front of the second session, and we're going to be hearing from 5 incredible companies. Last but not least, we're going to be moving on to our last session, and we'll talk about that right when we get to it. The next showcase coming up on the calendar is advanced materials and electronics. So if that's an area of interest for you from panelists or from a company perspective, please be in touch with us. We're going to have 3 sessions, as is our tradition: open topic, advanced materials, and then the 3rd session is electronics and semiconductors. So it should be a really great event. This is a little bit about us. This is our team. My name is Josh Baron. I'm the managing director. You'll see on the line today, we're going to be joined by Asher Rudensky, Yuval Herman, and Leora Moore. But we have a great team led by our founder, Ariel Schatz. Just a quick announcement. We run a program which is seasonal, based around when AFWERX produces their results, called the MoU Club. And so just stay tuned. If you are an AFWERX Phase 1 winner and you're looking to get an MoU, we're very dedicated to this process. We run it in conjunction with our sister company, Eagle Point Funding, where we help companies through the MoU process. A little bit about our network. We're comprised of a number of different organizations. Argentum, which is our sister company, they focus on EU grant opportunities. They also work with, they basically work with any EU or EU affiliated country. So any companies coming out of anywhere in the EU, UK, Switzerland, Israel. Then there's Eagle Point Funding, which is a US grant consultancy focused on technology outside of life science, working through opportunities from the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and NASA, Department of Energy, and other agencies, and of course the Deep Tech Showcase. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via our website or to contact one of us by email. Pretty easy. Take our name and add Deep Tech Showcase, and your email will reach one of us. So without further ado, we're going to get started with our open